Guitar Collector Guy presents shimming my new Telecaster neck. In my recent Telecaster build video, I discovered when I was trying to set up the string height for each string that I was bottoming out the saddles for the low E and the high E strings. So I basically ordered neck shims online, and here you can actually see as you go through that I'm using the Music Nomad string height measurement tool, and there's a huge gap with the saddles being bottomed out, and there's still quite a bit of distance between the line on the gauge and the string. If you like this video, click like, subscribe, and notify. A lot of people make their own neck shims. I kind of choose to just buy them pre-made and already measured. What you see on the screen right now is kind of my version to kind of show you what a neck shim looks like. So it's an exaggerated side view of a shim where you can see that they're actually tapered. And the numbers on the shim are the degree then that it's going to add to the neck where the headstock will cant down. And normally for a problem like what I have, you'd use the 0.25 or 0.5. All the reading I basically said was to start with the 0.5. The 1 is more for installing specialized locking bridges and things like that. And hopefully my neck wouldn't require a shim that thick. So I ordered them. They arrived today. I think they're either 3D printed or molded, one of the two, but they're already pre-made. They're easy to fit, meaning you can file off material so it fits into your neck pocket perfectly. And so that's what I did is I put it in. It was kind of a tight fit. I couldn't get it all the way back. So I took a file and started to just slowly take off material until it fit in perfectly. Then what I discovered was there was a lot of material that was hanging over the edges of, the neck pocket. And so then I kind of slowly with a file, took that material off as well and kept on, after I would remove some of the material, put it back on and see how it fit. And I really like these plastic shims because they're really easy to file, really easy to work with. And, you just kind of take your time with a fine file. Also too, some people will use like a guitar pick or something like that as a shim, but the problem is it leaves then a gap in the pocket, and you really don't want that. You want full contact between the neck, the surface of the neck going into the pocket of the body of the guitar. And so half shims and smaller parts like picks and things like that may seem like a great idea and it'll appear to solve the problem, but they're really not the best approach. So the great thing about the shims that I purchased, or you can make, I guess, like this, is it ensures that there's full surface contact from the shim to the body, and then full surface contact between the shim and the neck. The other great thing about the pre-manufactured shims are you don't have to worry about figuring out and how to get that kind of tapered, shape to it, as well as they come already marked with the angle that it's going to basically put the neck at. And and these plastic ones, like I said, on a file are just like really, really easy to remove off excess material. So it took me about literally like 3 to 4 minutes to basically shape the shim and then make it where it fit into the pocket of the neck perfectly, as well as didn't hang over when the edges when I put the neck back on and so on. So these are easy to work with, and I think like 3 of them, you can get them on Amazon. There's like 2 or 3 different manufacturers of like the plastic ones as well as wooden ones. Either way, they work really great. They come pre-made for you and so on. I like the plastic ones because they don't ever change in thickness or anything like that. They don't absorb humidity or so on, and it just seems like to me a better product to use. Here I'm holding the Shim up, and you can see the really slight taper in it, and now it fits into the neck pocket perfectly, and I'm able now to put the neck in and now basically permanently attach the neck to the body. So after I installed strings, stretched them, tuned them, and then I did actually measure the neck relief and found out, oddly enough, that it hadn't changed. For some reason, I lost the footage, and so you kind of just have to take my word for it. But here I'm measuring the strings, and I found now that the strings are like really low. So across the board, I just went and raised all the saddles, kind of keeping the same arc, but to kind of cut down the amount of time it would take me to measure for string height and adjust the saddles and kind of the iterative process that it takes. So after you adjust anything, you always want to retune so you're coming back to a pitch perfect baseline. And then I went in and each time I would measure each of the strings and then adjust the saddles accordingly, kind of in an incremental small amount. And then once I did the adjustments, I would go and retune and then come back and measure again. So after I finally had the saddles and the string height set perfectly, I went in and checked the intonation, but the intonation hadn't changed. But I did go through and I checked each string and found out that it was still the same. And just kind of as a review, intonation, basically what you do is you tune the guitar to pitch, and then you depress each string at the 12th fret. And then what you do is you look to see that it should be pitched straight on, not sharp or flat of the same note that the open string is tuned to. If it is sharp, then you move the saddle away from the neck. If it is flat, then you move the saddle towards the neck. So after I was all done making my adjustments to the guitar, you can see now that the saddles are no longer bottoming out, on the bridge. And then what you also find is that I set this to low to medium, where the 3 low strings were 1.50 and the 3 high strings were 1.25. Thank you for watching Guitar Collector Guy. Really appreciate you being here. Hope you come back and watch more. If you like this video, click like, subscribe, and notify.